My name is Gitte Jensen, and I'm the Research Director at NIS Labs. We specialize in research on natural products and their effects on the body. This involves research on natural methods to support the regenerative functions of our stem cells. We found that an extract from sea buckthorn berries has effects on stem cell mobilization. Sea buckthorn is a thorny shrub that grows naturally at very high altitudes in Tibet. The medicinal properties were recorded in Chinese scripts over 1500 years ago. The multitude of health effects associated with the berries also includes reparative functions. Therefore, based on our experience with medicinal plants, we looked for effects on stem cells as a unifying mechanism. Stem cells are responsible for repair of trauma and injury, as well as general maintenance and rejuvenation of organs and tissue. Stem cells need to travel through the whole body to look for tissues that are in need of repair. We worked with an extract from sea buckthorn berry, rich in the complex anti-inflammatory flavonoids called proanthocyanidins. We tested its effect on the numbers of stem cells in the blood circulation. We conducted a randomized double-blind crossover trial in 12 healthy people. The study was placebo-controlled to account for each person's normal circadian rhythm. Blood samples were taken immediately before consuming either placebo or 500 mg of the berry extract. And 2 more blood samples were taken at 1 and 2 hours. The blood was used for immunophenotyping and flow cytometry to quantify the numbers of different types of stem cells. We observed mobilization of several types of stem cells. On the next 3 graphs, the changes seen after consuming the berry extract are shown with solid lines, and the changes seen after consuming placebo are shown by dashed lines. To the left, you see the changes in numbers of progenitor stem cells, where a highly significant increase occurred within 2 hours after consumption. And to the right, you see minor changes for the complementary pluripotential stem cell type. Here you see results for endothelial stem cells, where a statistically significant increase in numbers occurred within 1 hour after consumption and remaining significant at 2 hours. Here you see the result for mesenchymal lymphocytoid cells, where an increase in numbers occurred within 2 hours after consumption, reaching a statistical trend. When we took into account that different people may respond at different speed, we observed significant effects on mobilization of all 4 types of stem cells. We conclude that consumption of sea buckthorn extract resulted in mobilization of stem cells involved in reparative and regenerative functions. This data may contribute to the growing understanding of the traditional uses of sea buckthorn for preventive health, regenerative health, and postponing the aging process.
And now it is my great delight to introduce to you Dr. Petra Larmo, PhD. Petra has her doctorate in food chemistry from the University of Turku. She's joining us all the way from Finland today. She wrote her doctoral thesis on the health benefits of sea buckthorn berries and oil. She has many published papers on this topic.
Yes, dry eye is a disease of tears and the ocular surface. And the main features are the increased osmolarity, so the increased concentration of the tear film. And the tear film is the film that covers and protects the ocular surface. And another central feature in dry eye syndrome is the inflammation of the ocular surface. And the high osmolarity and the inflammation, they cause symptoms like soreness of eyes, foreign body sensation, dryness, grittiness, burning, redness. And the condition is more common in women and also in older people, but of course also younger people suffer from it. For example, people who wear contact lenses or who have gone to laser surgery of eyes. And external factors affect, like dry and windy conditions.
So when we talk about dry eyes, in order to try to make it simpler, so would it be correct to say that in certain problems or different diseases where we end up with dry eyes, the film, the watery film that covers the eye becomes too thin? It's not thick enough, and so it evaporates more quickly? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's correct. There is too little water in the tear film.
Yes. Let's talk then about different types of dry eye.
Yes, there are two main types of dry eye. There is the aqueous deficient dry eye, and this is when there are problems in the lacrimal secretion. So there is too little of this aqueous tear film produced. And the other main type is the evaporative dry eye, when the watery layer is produced, but there is excess evaporation from the tear film. And this is because the outer layer of the tear film is an oily layer that is supposed to prevent excess evaporation. But if you have problems in the consistency of the oily layer, then there is too much evaporation. And whichever the mechanism, this leads to too high osmolarity of tear film and damage to the ocular surface and inflammation.
So it becomes a vicious cycle because you need the moisture to protect the eye. With a loss of the moisture, you get more damage. With more damage and irritation, you get more inflammation, and the inflammation itself may play a role in making the eye dry, yes?
Yes, that's correct. And it's difficult to cut it.
Well, you did a study specifically on dry eyes with 100 women and men, aged 20 to 75, yes, with dry eye symptoms. So it was both genders and a wide age span.
Yes, this was a study led by Professor Heikki Kallio at University of Turku. And all these participants, they experienced dry eye symptoms. And we had an intervention period of 3 months, and half of the participants were randomized to Seebachthorn group, half to placebo group, and the study was double-blinded and randomized. So during the study, we as researchers and also the participants didn't know which product they were getting. And during this period, the participants daily took 2 grams of Seebachthorn oil or placebo oil. And at the beginning, after 1 month, and at 3 months when the study ended, we made clinical measurements of dry eye. There was an eye specialist in the group making these measurements. And in addition, during the study period, the participants daily kept a symptom logbook about their symptoms of dry eye.
So you had some excellent results with this.
Yes, we had really nice results because at the end we saw beneficial effects of Seebachthorn oil on dry eye. First of all, there was a good effect on the osmolarity of the tear film, which is kind of the gold standard measure of dry eye. And also when we analyzed the symptom logbooks that the participants kept, the symptoms of redness of eyes and burning of eyes were less severe in the Seebachthorn oil group compared to the placebo group. And it's most likely the joint effect of all these compounds that we talked about earlier that has made this happen. So there has been an effect on this inflammation that keeps the vicious cycle of dry eye going, and on the effect on the oxidative stress. And new research by other groups have also shown that carotenoids, which have the pro-vitamin A efficacy, and also essential fatty acids, can have effects on the differentiation of these cells which produce components to the tear film.
Excellent. You know, the next clinical study you did was on a disease called Sjogren's syndrome, and many people had never heard of this until American tennis star Venus Williams actually had to withdraw from competition for a while because of Sjogren's syndrome. So can you tell us a little bit about this autoimmune disease?
Yes, Sjögren's syndrome is like you said, an autoimmune disease, which means that the body produces antibodies against its own tissues or cell components, and there is a chronic inflammation going on in the body. And in Sjögren's syndrome, there is a infiltration of white blood cells to exocrine cells of these glands which produce moisture to mucous membranes. So the syndrome damages the salivary glands, the lacrimal glands, and also the exocrine glands in nose, respiratory, and gastrointestinal system and vagina. So this causes the typical symptoms, which are the dryness of mucous membranes of eyes, mouth, and mucous membranes in general.
Excellent. So tell me about your study that you did on women with Sjögren's syndrome.
Yeah, this was a study by Professors Paulu Young and Risto Erkkola, and this was also a placebo-controlled double-blind study, or crossover study this time. So the participants changed their group in a randomized order during the study, and 25 women with Sjögren's syndrome participated. And the study period lasted for 3 months for both products, for the Sibacton and the placebo. And during this period, they daily took 3 grams of oil. And the effects of the oils on the symptoms were analyzed using so-called visual analogical scale evaluation by the participants. So they evaluated how bad their symptoms were at the beginning and at the end.
So again, you got some wonderful results with this study.
Yes, the results were very interesting. In the first phase of the study, a greater proportion of the participants, significantly greater proportion of the participants in the Sibacton group compared to the placebo group reported improvement of overall symptoms of dryness, and this included symptoms of genital mucous membranes, dryness of eyes, mouth, nose, and also to other symptoms related to Sjögren's syndrome, like tiredness and joint pain. And when the both study phases were analyzed, there was significantly greater proportion of participants who reported improvement of symptoms of genital mucous membranes. So itching, burning, pain, dryness.
You know, a lot of people think of Sjögren's and they think of the eye dryness and the mouth dryness, but they forget that it can also be extremely problematic with the vaginal dryness.
Yes, that's true. And there were many parts of vaginal dryness analyzed here, and the results were very, very good. And again, most likely it was a joint effect by different components in Sibacton, seed and bulb oil.
So it's important to have that wider spectrum of nutrients to make sure that you're going to be able to replicate the results of the study, correct?
Yes, that's correct, because each of them have a little bit different mechanism and way of affecting. So it's important that exactly the same composition is used as in the studies.